Peace and love, family. Peace and love. It's your boy Leon Wiz White. Before we get started, I want to make this disclaimer and let you guys know I do not own the copyrights to this music. Once again, I do not own the copyrights to this music. So, welcome to Planet Wiz, Season 3, Episode 12. We are excited. Hey, baby, did this yesterday, too. When I pressed pause, it wouldn't work. Peace, Kyle. Peace, King. Welcome. Sunflower 4. Peace, guys. Peace. It did this yesterday. Last time. It worked. Press pause and stop. Let's see. Peace, Route to Go. J Route, peace, God, peace, King. Rosman, peace, King. LaKenta, peace, Goddess. The Day Party, peace, Rastafarian Monk, peace. Welcome. Of course, it went on the. It always do that. Go on the phone. It's on the live. Peace. Welcome. Peace, Rastafari Monk. How you doing? Hey, do me a favor, guys. Put in the comments what city and state you guys are tapping in from. Do me that favor real quick. Put in the city and state you guys are tapping in from tonight. It's Planet Wiz, Season 3, Episode 12. We're going to talk a little more about that once we get started. We got about 7.5, 8 minutes. We're going to get a family about 10 minutes to get here. Sweet Life Pretzels, peace queen, peace goddess. If I were you guys, I would definitely go down to the arrow button and share this with your friends, share it with your family members, share it with your dog, share it with your cousin, share it with your uncle down the street, share it with the deer that's running around the neighborhood. We got some great information that we're going to be sharing with the family tonight, a great high vibrational conversation. And we're gonna touch on some controversial issues, which is okay. Sometimes you gotta have those tough conversations. They just need to be had, and they're good for healing. So definitely get ready tonight. Strap on your seatbelt. Peace, queen. Peace. Do me a favor and type in the city and state in the comments that you are tapping in from, just so we can see what the family tapping in from tonight. Peace, family. Peace. I literally was in your DM and about to send you something about some of the places for the beads. So I'll take care of that today. Root Season Oils did not have a website, so I was going to send you their Facebook page. And it looks like you can order stuff from the Facebook page. So I'm going to make sure I get that to you. I didn't forget about you. Cincinnati, Ohio. Here we go. Enfield, Connecticut. Nasty Natty. Where my people tapping in from? Welcome. Peace and love. Manchester, Vermont. Oh yeah, we tapping in all over, baby. Tapping in all over. We're gonna pick that energy up, baby. Pick that energy up. We're about to raise the vibrations this next hour and a half. We're going to raise the vibrations on the planet, help with some healing, help with a lot of things. We're going to get some spiritual guidance out there, get some questions answered. This is actually God is L third time on here, so back by popular demand for sure. Send it up, fam. We got 5 minutes before we get started. 5 minutes before we get started, family. Like I said, I would encourage you to click that arrow down at the bottom of your screen and share this with your friends and family, co-workers, all that good stuff. We definitely are going to assist and help with some healing tonight and some spiritual guidance as always. What's up, yo? Peace, peace. Oh yeah. Peace and blessings, peace and blessings. Goddess P. Bless up, Queen. Bless. Peace and blessings, Goddess. Bless up. For those that are just joining us, type in the city and state in the comments where you're tapping in from. See where you guys tapping in from tonight. Like I said earlier, if I were you guys, I would definitely click that bottom arrow. Share with your friends, family, co-workers, dog down the street, your own dog. Let's make sure we share this information because we're definitely going to help some people heal tonight. Peace, Queen. Peace, Queen. Peace. We got about 4 minutes before we get started. Get a family a chance to get here. Hey, Rosman, hey, that belt was fire. I ain't gonna even lie to you, God. I was looking at it some more, like, okay. Yeah, you already know, Kyle. Peace, King. I gotta light some sage for the goddess. I gotta cleanse the space for the empress. Goddess L. We got the rose. So we got the rose sage. Go ahead and cleanse the space one time for the goddess. Arisha my altar. Arisha my altar. You gotta go ahead and cleanse the space for the goddess. Get my cleanse on real quick too. You feel me? Yes, sir. Arisha my altar. Arisha my altar. Don't you fuck with my energy. 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 Cast the spells with my color. I'm the head of the study. I'm a shapeshifter. All right, so before we get started, healing, cleansing, and love, that's peace, absolutely. So before we get started, y'all know how we do. This energy thing is an exchange. It's a reciprocation. Y'all know I'm going to give you all my good positive energy, and I know you're going to give it back. So we're going to go ahead and give some positive energy to this guest speaker tonight. Do me a favor in the comments. Type in some thumbs up. Type in some hearts. Also on the IG page, click your heart button. Let's raise the vibrations. Raise the vibrations for the goddess coming on tonight. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's raise these vibrations up, baby. Let's raise these vibrations up. Let's get some hearts. Let's get some thumbs up. Let's get some likes. There we go. I see some hearts coming. Let's go. Let's get it. I'll start it off. There we go. Here come the hearts. Raise the vibrations, family. We're getting started in 1 minute. Raise the vibrations. Let's go. Let's get it. There we go. There we go. There we go. Raise these vibrations up. Raise these good old vibrations. 30 seconds. We going. There we go. Cache, welcome, Queen. Peace. Raise these vibrations. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. There we go. There we go. I see the hearts over there. There we go. Let's get ready to get it popping. Chosen and I can't fake it. Great Holly debated. All right, let's go ahead and get this thing popping real quick. So, peace, love, light, positive vibrations, family. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Once again, it's your boy Leon Wiz White here with Planet Wiz. This is actually season 3, episode 12. So we are excited about what's going on here. We do this show for the newbies. First off, thank you guys, all of you guys, for sharing your amazing energy. We're here with us tonight. We're definitely going to make sure we make this an even energy exchange for sure. You want to make sure it's reciprocated. You never want to get your energy drained. So we always going to keep it going and put that positive energy out there. Keep raising the vibrations on the planet. I think that definitely starts with conversations like tonight, especially with the masses. So like I said, the show 3 days a week. We do it every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then we do it on Sundays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For those that are new to the channel, like I said, or to the platform, and that are new to the channel that I'm about to talk about, the way that you can catch up to speed and go check out all the videos that we have out there. Like I said, this is season 3, so you can go on my IGTV page. All the replays are on there. Also, I would strongly encourage you guys to go to Planet Wiz on YouTube. Go to YouTube, type in Planet Wiz, 2 words, Planet, then Wiz, and all my my YouTube channel will pop up. We have over 75 videos on there for you, so plenty of content for you to dive into. Definitely, I would encourage you to grab a pen and paper when you jump on there and take some copious notes, because we have some information on there that can, I'm just going to be flat out honest, can actually help change your life. So I would encourage you guys to, and it'll definitely assist you on this journey here, on your spiritual journey for sure. So I'd encourage you guys to go like and subscribe to that channel, and let's just transition. I'm excited about tonight because, like I mentioned earlier, the young lady I'm bringing on the live tonight, her name is Goddess L, also known as LaKenta Verschoon. Very good friend of mine. I actually look at her like a sister, like a big sister. And you guys already know, big sis don't play. So I'm very intelligent young lady, very in tune, very in touch. Definitely knows who she is. And my wife and I, we always joke. We always like to say, when we think of LaKenta, we think of like one of those warriors. She's definitely a warrior, no doubt. But we think of like on Black Panther, one of the warriors on the Black Panther, one of those leaders. She's definitely a goddess to the fullest. Don't take no shit. And she speaks her mind, which is incredible because she walks it like she talks it. Let me just say that. Definitely walks it like she talks it. That's why I respect her so much. Very good friend. And I'm excited to bring her on. So, hey, Z, what's up? Peace, Queen. Peace, Goddess. Welcome. We're about to get started. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring Goddess L on the line. And give me 1 second. Peace, wifey. Welcome, Goddess. I'm going to bring her on. Give me 1 second. All right, Goddess L, you should be with us in about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom.
Greetings, fam. Greetings,
peace.
love.
How are you?
I am amazing. I am very well, thank you. How y'all doing?
Hey, listen, it's all up over here. That's all I can say. It's
Hey,
up.
all the way up. All the way up. Woke up all the way up. Been all the way up all day. Stay all the way up.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I see you
just
chilling
time.
over there.
It's time to me. You know what I'm saying? Like it can't be no other way. It's a choice.
Yeah.
And if I know I got a choice, I'm gonna choose to be all the way up. Why be any other way?
You
You
feel
know?
me?
Yeah, for real. Like real talk. Why be any other way? Especially once we make the decision that up is where we want to be. Why be any other way? Be up.
I agree with you. I see
And
you
not
over
to
there.
say that situations and not to say that situations and experiences that don't come to, that you have to figure out where you're gonna be within them, but still I still get to be all the way up. People be on their bullshit. You just look at them and laugh like, okay. And now what?
You feel me? Right, because it don't
And
apply
now
to
what?
your life at all. It don't really apply apply to you at all.
No, like, I mean, like, the one thing understanding about who we are and the power and the ability that we have is understanding that with that power and that ability comes the right to choose. Now, I can choose to get in bullshit with you. I can choose to laugh at you and move the fuck on, because at the end of the day, you really don't have no power in my day. I had that happen to me at the grocery store. The lady kept ringing up my stuff incorrectly. And of course, it wasn't her fault. She just ringing, and I was like, that ain't the price that it said on the shelf. She called. They told her I was right. Something else rang up. She called. And we got to the third thing. And then when she got done, she was like, I'm sorry I'm causing you to have such a bad day. And I just giggled just like that. And I was like, sweetheart, you don't got that kind of power. You can't cause me to have nothing. And she was looking down. And when I said it, because the tone of my voice changed. But the tone of your voice should change when you take authority. When you speak with authority, when you walk with authority, when you come in authority, your voice should change. I want you to understand I'm not playing with you. You don't have that kind of power. Then I went back to, now you have a nice day. You don't got that kind of power over me. You don't get to tell me. This is my life.
What did she say to you?
She was like, you're right. I wasn't asking you. I was telling you. I know I was right. Now you know I'm right. We on the same frequency. We understand each other. Have a nice day.
You had to catch your speed real quick.
Oh yeah, I mean, but that's what we have to do in everywhere we put, everywhere we step. This ground is holy ground. When I stepped on it, it became holy. When I walked in this store became holy. Now I exercise my authority over all this while I'm here. Everywhere I step, everything I touch, every person I talk to, who's in control? That's what this whole thing is about. Who's in control? Are you in control, or are you being controlled? And it's in everything. Now, do you have to be aggressive about it? No. You very rarely see me be aggressive about anything. But I will take authority over the situation. Just the fact that I showed up takes authority over a situation. And I with a smile, because I know who I am. I know what I'm capable of. I know what I came here to do. So I don't hand power of me over lightly.
Absolutely.
That submissive thing. I submit to you as long as I like it. Otherwise, I'm in.
That's true. You know what? I'm glad you brought that up, because it cracks me up. Even today, when you look into, like, let's just say, like, the conscious community or any type of community there is, especially communities that are trying to do better and, think differently and things like that, and think outside the box and not let, the government tell them what to do. But it cracks me up. My wife and I, we laugh at it all the time when you get these conscious people or groups that say, still to this day, saying that women should bow down to men and do all of this stuff like that. Like, when I see that, like, my eyes just like blow up. Like, are you serious? Like, you still don't get it.
You still don't get it, right? You still don't know who. Well, that's the thing about, and not to say that, don't misunderstand me when I say this, not to say that we're not all gods and goddesses, because we are. But when you don't fully recognize who you are, I'm very suspect. I'm very careful about honoring you within your title. Now, I understand referring to people as who they are, to lift them up. What's up, God? But I'm not going to keep doing that. I might address you that way that first time, and your response, your reaction, the way you conduct yourself going to tell me if I'm going to keep doing that. I speak to everybody. I refer to people, greetings, your highness. I speak that way to everybody. That's across the board. But if I say your majesty, oh, you carry yourself a certain way to me. I address people the way that I see them, the way that I feel about them, or the way that they carry themselves within my company. So I'm either going to address you as your highness, I'm going to address you as hey love, because we're all love anyway. I very rarely refer to people as God or goddesses, and until I reached a certain level within myself, I didn't let people address me as goddess. Because with that, comes power. And if you're not walking in your power, if you haven't owned who you are, why should I?
Facts.
So if you still running around, if you call yourself a god or a goddess, but you still running around fearful of what, everything the government say, you believe in everything they put out on the news, you worried about the world coming to an end, you buying up all the damn toilet paper, you're acting like a peasant. You're acting like a peasant, and I'm gonna refer to you the way you act. That's how you carry yourself. So, how you doing? I'm not gonna call you out your name, of course. I'm not gonna disrespect you. But we hand things over so easily to people, and yes, I want you to raise your vibration, but I want you to take authority over that more than me giving it to you. Take it. It's yours. Take it by force. Take it. Know that own it. And that's a mental thing. It's a mind thing. You got to own who you are. You have to take authority over you. You have to take possession of you. And that's what being a god or a goddess is. When you walk in, and it don't mean, like when you be like strong, like when they say strong black women, that black woman thinks she got to act a certain way. She got to roll her neck. I'm a strong black woman. That's not what that means. That's not what makes you strong. Mm-mm. That's an energy, and it's not a good one. You might need to, that's a spirit. Turn that back in. Take that back. Take that back to the register. Like, listen, I need my money back because y'all trying to trick me.
Right.
I don't want to be no strong black woman. Trick no good. I know what you're saying to me. It's a double cross. That independent, that's an agenda. All that bullshit is an agenda. Get that back. You don't need that.
Agreed.
Be who you are. Walk in authority. Walk in the authority of who you are, who you came to be. You came here to be God in the flesh and experience everything that you created or everything that you wrote into your contract. You wrote some real good shit into your contract. You wrote some real powerful living into your life contract. You even wrote your death into your life contract. So this game they playing with this coronavirus and shit, that's a game. And it only works on people who want to play that game, who haven't learned how to play the game yet, who don't know that they're the God at the table. If you don't know that you're the God, you're the one in control, you hold all the spades, run a Boston on their ass. If you play spades, you know where I'm coming from with that.
Absolutely.
Run a Boston on their ass. That take all 13 books for them. Start from the king. You got the strong suits and you got a partner. Run it. But if you don't know who you are, then you still running around afraid and again buying up all the damn toilet paper and walking around with a mask on your face, making yourself sicker than you already would have been. You've accepted. Life is frequencies. And this is getting so far off the subject. I mean, not off the subject, but okay.
Hey, but it's fire.
Life is frequencies. Yeah, let me just roll with it because evidently this is what Spirit want me to say because I asked that before we even went live. Life is frequencies. It's like tuning in on a radio dial. So, everybody do the digital thing now. You just or Pandora. But when they had radio dials, when you had to tune into a station, you had to tweak it just right or you got static on the line. Mm-hmm. Or you had to settle for a station that you didn't want to listen to and it made no sense to you. You like rap, but all you can get is a country station. That's not your frequency. But if that's where you settle at, like, okay, I can't find my station, I'll just sit right here. You might learn something. You may increase your vibration by going ahead and listening to this country station because it's a different frequency. It expands your mind. It opens up your perspective. It allows you to be fed. Just like a closed mouth, a closed mind cannot be fed. If your mind is closed, you stay stuck in the cycle of life that you've agreed to, or the circle, or the course. And that's what we call generational curses. We are not under any curses. The only curses we're under are the curses we've agreed to and we've taken ownership of. What we're on is generational courses. And you know, like a course, a racetrack, a race course. You go around and around. On race cars, they go around and around so many laps, right? Till the race is over. Well, that's what we do. We get on these courses in life and we stay on them because we are afraid to get off because we don't know what's over there on the get off. Then we die with all these regrets and remorses because we never got off that course. We never changed our mind about going around the same shit over and over again. The only generational curses we are under are the courses that we will not get off of, even though we have the right and the ability to. We bought the right here with us. It's an inalienable right. Our birthright, our BEARTH right. I call it birth, be earth, because I brought it to earth when I was born here.
Facts.
When I landed here, I birthed it with me. So if it's my inalienable right, which means can't nobody take it from me. That's what an inalienable right is. You can't take it from me. But I can hand it over to you.
Facts.
I hand it over to you. And some of that, yes, some of that handing over has been through generational processes because nobody told me it was mine in the first place, so I never came for it. Well, I'm telling you it's the fuck yours. Go take it back.
Ashe.
It's yours. Go take it back. And simply taking it back is not being aggressive towards anybody. It's not being angry at the world. It's going within your thought process and severing the spiritual ties to anything that you have agreed to, known and unknown, that you no longer need in your life. And it's a lot of shit that we as a people don't need in our life no more. Even racism is a generational course. You don't hear anybody talk about racism but us. Understandable, because we feel like we're the ones that are the victim of racism. But in reality, we are the volunteers of racism. How is that? We're the volunteers of racism because we keep it alive by continuing to believe that it's real. We keep it alive by continuing to accept and buy into the agenda that it is real. Now, I'm not saying it doesn't happen. What I'm saying is that it happens because we believe it has to happen. It does not have to happen. You have to make a concerted, intentional effort to break that contract within your own life. Nobody else can do it for you. You have to break that contract yourself. I have 3 sons. I never signed them up for that racism contract. I have 3 sons. I never signed them up for I'm a black man out here, so I'm unsafe contract. So they ain't never had to break it. If they agreed to it, that's something they picked up on their own when they were away from me. I never gave my sons that contract. We never agreed to that with them together. If they agreed to it, that was their own doing. And that means that that's up to them to undo. But that's one contract I never signed them up for. That's one agreement that's one generational course I never set them on the pattern of. I never introduced them to that. And right now, if we have the conversation about it, they'll tell you, I'm safe, I'm good. That don't have nothing to do with me. Because they know that they have the authority, they have the power, they have the ability to choose what they want to be a part of.
Facts.
And that's what we need to understand. We need to understand that we have the ability, the power, the right, and the responsibility to choose what we want to be a part of. And that's in every area of our life. If you agree, yes, poverty and the lack mindset, behaviors and beliefs is a part of our community as a whole, Black people. We act like we own the rights to it, for real. And if you ain't never been a part of poverty, we almost want to excommunicate you from the neighborhood. In reality, poverty is a mindset that we agreed to, unbeknownst to us, these generations, these recent generations. We didn't realize that poverty was a mindset and a conditioning process that our foreparents agreed to.
Mm-hmm.
For a lot of people, for a lot of us people of melanin, even slavery was a condition, a mental institution that we agreed to. Because if you check our history, we were already here in the Americas. We are the natives. We were already here, and the majority of our ancestors have never been slaves. They never broke their back out there the way that we have been conditioned to believe. Did they work hard? Yes, they did. But again, that's that mental process. That's why you have to be careful about agreeing to line yourself up with his story. Because he who tells the story first can tell the story his way, and he controls the outcome of the story. His story. What's your story?
That's powerful.
So yeah, he's been telling his story for a long time, but now is the opportunity, and it is imperative that you take back your ability, your right, your responsibility, and your power to tell your story. And your story don't have to be the story that's been passed down. It's time to break those generational courses. It's time to get off those courses. You know, when you're going around a revolving door, and it's fun to play in the revolving door, but eventually you have to choose to exit in or exit out, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're in revolving doors. We need to decide to exit in and keep going through the same shit over and over again, or exit out. And everybody's not going to exit out with you.
I choose to exit
and that's
out.
another thing that we need to get over, thinking that everybody's going to come with us, so we got to tell them this, I got to share this, I got to tell this, I got to tell this. You can tell it, but I can tell you from experience, very few people are willing to come out. Very few. They're afraid. It's unknown. It's unfamiliar territory. It's an uncharted path to their understanding, because the path has been charted very well. Trust me. Believe me. Understand me. The path has been charted very well. This path that we're on, this spiritual path, it's been charted very well. But few find it, and even when they do, some turn back. Like Harriet said, I saved thousands, but I could have saved thousands more if they had known they were slaves. She could have saved thousands more if they had known that they were free.
Mm-hmm.
Understand that. She could have saved thousands more if they had known that they were free. I don't need to know that I'm a slave. That's been the story for a very long time. That's been the story for generations before I got here. What I need to know is I'm free. Now that I know it, I have to take possession of it. It's like giving somebody a gift. You haven't really received the gift until you open it and see what you got. If you leave it in the box, like I give you a gift and you take it and you throw it in the back of your car and a week go by and a month go by and it gets slid up under the seat and you forgot I gave it to you. And you find it 6 months later when you go clean your car out. You had the gift of freedom all along, but you never opened the gift. So you didn't even know you had it.
Facts.
You have to take possession of your gift. It's been given to you freely. As a matter of fact, you brought it with you freely. But you have to take possession of it. It's yours. And that's where we have to start breaking those generational curses, getting off those generational courses. And within those generational courses is so much thought process, it's so much baggage, it's so many roots, it's got arms and legs and tentacles like a damn octopus. You know, it's like an octopus, and then it's got suction cups on it. This stuff hold on to you. And especially if you've been on earth any time, you know, I've been here 46 years. So the some of the stuff that I have is kind of old. You know what I'm saying? It's in there. It was rooted. It was deep. The roots were strong and deep. And then I had to start digging that shit up. I had to start doing the mental work sorting it out, feeling my feelings, examining my feelings, questioning my feelings. Do I need this? Is this how I feel, or is this how I was told to feel? Is this my thought process, or is this what was given to me? Do I need it anymore? Is it useful for where I am? Is it useful for where I'm trying to go? What do I need to do with this? And a lot of shit, we don't need to do nothing with it. Just stop using it. Just stop. Just let it go. You know, I hear people, and I used to feel like I had all these issues, daddy issues, abandonment issues, need closure. Ain't none of that stuff true. You don't need no closure. When it's over, it's over. That's closure. How you got abandonment issues for somebody that never was a part of your life anyway? How you got daddy issues if he was never there? Now, for people who do, I'm not discounting you. I'm not making light of you. I'm not making light of your thought process. But what I'm saying is some things have a stronger hold on us and on our lives than they need to, not because we really believe in them, but because somebody introduced a thought to us and we didn't have nothing else to compare it with, so we took ownership of that thought. So just as easily as we took ownership of that thought, we can disown that thought. And when it come back, just disown it again. Like, probably about 2 years ago, I started my own little mantra about some shit I was working through because this nigga wouldn't do what I wanted him to do. He wouldn't act like I wanted him to act. So I got mad, and I just was done with him. Like, okay, well, cool. You don't act like I want you to act. You don't do what I want you to do. You don't say what I'm going to be done with you. And every time I wanted to control him or make him do, I would tell myself, that ain't got shit to do with you.
Facts.
Where he at? What he doing? Why he ain't answered? That ain't got shit to do with you. Why he ain't called me? Why he ain't text me back faster? That ain't got shit to do with you. And I just kept saying that to myself.
That's real.
Till like for real, which it really didn't have nothing to do with me because I can't control anybody. That ain't even my job. But see, this is the stuff that get in our psyche. We think, why you ain't text me back quicker? Why you ain't call me back? You see, I called you. We want to control situations. We don't really want to control people. We want to control the experience because we think in controlling the experience, we can prevent ourselves from getting hurt.
And that's not love.
And that's not love. No, it ain't love of self and it ain't love of him, of people. You know what I'm saying? So, and when I came to that understanding, I said, okay, I want to break this thing within me that thinks I need to, even thinks I need to control him, me, or the situation. I want to break this thing. And how can I break this thing? And it just popped in my head. That ain't got shit to do with you. You break it because it don't got shit to do with you. So every time something would come up, even with my children, you know, as a mother, no matter how old your children get, you still want to be, the hero in their lives. You want to save them from things. You want to fix things for them. And you want things to be as perfect for them as they can be. And even with my children, I had to tell myself about some situations with them. They ain't got shit to do with you. They got theyself in it. Let them get theyself the hell out of it. They don't got shit to do with you. And the mental clicking into place that happens when you do that, the universe starts moving shit out the way that don't have nothing to do with you because you've confirmed that ain't got shit to do with you. So if it ain't got nothing to do with you, I'm not even going to bring it to your attention. I'm not even going to place it in your awareness because it don't got nothing to do with you. And when the universe started doing that, it was less and less things that I felt like I needed to control. And I started seeing things for what they was. Like, the only person you need to be in control of, in a sense, is you. And what you need to be in control of is your emotions. And not let your feelings. Because they controlling you right now. You ain't controlling them. Your feelings are a useful tool. That's where your intuition is, in your feelings. So you need to set some intuitive boundaries within your life, within yourself. You need to set some boundaries, and you need to maintain those boundaries. Even with yourself, for yourself, about yourself. Because your greatest asset and any changes you desire to see in your life start with self. Change is an inside job. And nothing you desire to see happen outside of you is going to happen outside of you until you fix what's inside of you. And that's in setting boundaries, trusting your intuition, knowing which way to go in your life by trusting your intuition, or doing what the elders used to call following your first mind. You know, that thing you was finna do and you didn't do, and something else happened, and then you say, Dad, I knew I should have done that. Dad, I should have followed my first mind. That's your intuition. Trying to getting you to go the way that's best for you. But you don't listen, so you go the way you want to go, or you do the way you want to do, and the shit be all jacked up. Then you want to, why would God let this happen to me? God ain't let nothing happen to you. You did that.
Facts.
The devil always trying to be busy. No, you did. Well, yeah, you're right. You're the devil.
There you
You're
go.
right. You're that devil.
There you go.
You're the devil. And I don't know the age range of people that's on the show, but when I was a little girl, when I was young, the cartoons was Bugs Bunny and Tom and Jerry, and they always symbolized, like, when there was a thing that one of the characters wanted to do that was bad or was wrong or something, they have one angel on this shoulder and one devil image on this shoulder, but both of them, or both images, look like the person. They look like the character. So if it was the dog and he was finna beat up Tom, and he stopped to think about it, the angel said, don't do it. And the devil was like, let him have it. They were both reflections of him. Both of them. So your worst enemy sometimes is the inner me. The inner me is the one that's getting the fuck in my way and preventing me from doing what I need to do.
Facts.
For being better for myself, for taking responsibility for myself, for being accountable to myself. For myself, about myself. Like being downright freaking honest. You ain't even need to do that bullshit. You knew you didn't need to do that. Why did you do that? Why would you do that? That's accountability. Do you need to? Don't do that. That little thought in your stomach, in your mind, that tells you don't do things. And you do them anyway. And then you want to wonder why your life's so jacked up. That's because you chose it. You chose to have it jacked up.
Yeah.
You chose that. Stop choosing that and stop acting like you're a victim in your own life. You are not a victim. You are not a victim in your life. Whether you want to play victim or not, it don't matter. You are the star in the role that determines how your life is going right now. You're the star in the life that's determined how your life has gone up to this point. You just didn't know it.
Mm-hmm.
I was on a comment on somebody's page yesterday, and he was saying that he was a nice guy. But if somebody crossed him, he wasn't gonna be nice no more. I said, well, you do know that nice means gullible, easy to take advantage of. You do know that nice is, if you say you're a nice person, what you're saying is that you want to be taken advantage of. You're saying that you put yourself out there that way. And then when people give you what you ask for, you're mad at them. So I was explaining to him, and he was like, well, that ain't what it means to me. And I said, well, it may not mean that to you, but energetically, and the spiritual assignment that's attached to that word is what I'm telling you. And I'm only telling you this because when we know that words we use and things we do have the ability to manifest in our life, if we know, if we're aware, then we can choose better. And I said, but I ain't trying to offend you. Go right on and be nice then. Now he want to be the victim in his life. He's choosing to be a victim, but really what he did, he was just volunteering to be taken advantage of by saying he was a nice guy. No, I'm not nice. I ain't nice by a long shot. But I'm kind. I'm very kind, and I'm considerate. But I ain't nice for shit. Not for nobody am I nice. Even when you think you getting over on me and I don't say nothing, understand I'm very aware, because I ain't nice. So with that, with the, understanding that our intuition, the words that we speak, we have the ability and the power to take control of our life. We are in control of our lives. Our life is responding to everything we say, do, and think. Everything we say, do, and think, our life is responding to that. I'm broke. I ain't never got no money. The universe said, yep, you ain't never got no money. Every time you get a little bit of money, something else come along and take that little bit of money. People be like, every time I turn around, something going wrong. Every time I turn around, something going right. Every time I turn around, everything in my life is always working out for me. Everything. Everything. I had a friend, and we was talking on the phone, and I said, we was talking about just people in the world in general, and he was telling me about something he seen, and I was like, everything always working. He was like, even you got some shit wrong, even though you try to act like you don't. And I was like, I just told you everything always working out for me, so why you gonna try to make me have shit wrong in my life? Why? Why can't, if I say that everything is always working out for me, why are you offended by that? Why are we offended when shit go good for people? Because we don't know that we also have the same opportunity for shit to go good for us too. Because we've bought too strongly, we paid too highly for the belief that it's only supposed to go good for certain people. The Bible says that God has no respect of person. Now, when you understand who God is, you're God. You're God. When the Bible says God, it's talking about you. When the Bible says Lord, it's talking about universal law. So when you understand it in the context that it's being said in the King's English, when you understand it through spiritual interpretation, when you stop reading the Bible through your pastor's voice or your mama's voice, who was reading the word to you but being hypocritical, then you can get a better interpretation and you can understand that it's a mind science book. It's a metaphysical dictionary, so to speak. It's a book of metaphysics. It's a holistic book, not H-O-L-Y, but W-H-O-L-Y, holistic, to make you whole through your mind. And when you understand it, it says that God has no respect of person, which means in your right mind, you don't put nobody before you. When you're in your right mind, when you're mentally clear, when you're spiritually strong, when you spiritually understand who you are and how to walk on your path, the path of righteousness means the path that's right for you, the path of right thinking or good thinking. Whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things of a good report, think on these things. When you think on the good things in life, that means you're walking on the right path for you. You put no one before you. You don't have a respect of person. You don't put anybody before anybody else either. You love people. You love people across the board, regardless of color, creed, sexual preference, how they dress, how they look, how fat they are, how skinny they are. Like when you really sincerely know who you are, all that shit go out the window. All that goes out the window. You don't care about none of that. When you tune in, tap in, and turn on to your spiritual self, because spirit doesn't have a color. We chose this flesh to come here and experience life in. But in reality, we don't have a color. Spirit is clear. It's like the wind that blows outside. You can't see it. And it don't even take, the wind very rarely takes form. Every once in a while, it'll wrap up in the leaves or it'll jump up in the trees to wave at you. But other than that, it just blows to and fro. So when you understand who you are, very few things bother you in this life. Very few things bother. When you detach from this life, in the sense that it has authority over you, your whole fucking day is bad because somebody turned in front of you in traffic at 7 o'clock this morning, so still at 7 o'clock this evening, you still pissed off about that. You just let one minor incident ruin your whole damn day. Like, what?
Right.
For real? So you mad because that person didn't see you in there because you was in a blind spot. I mean, you don't know what the hell was going on in their car. You don't know what they was dealing with. You don't know they got a call right when they left that the dog died. Shit, I don't know. I don't know what people going through. I don't know what's going on with people, but I know that at any given time I can just choose to be kind because I'm spirit. That's how spirit moves. I'm in this flesh because I wanted to see the world through flesh. I wanted to experience my creation. I wanted to experience life with other flesh. But it's just like you taking yourself into a house at night or whenever you go in the house. You don't want to be out in the elements. The spirit didn't want to be out in the elements, so it chose a body. So, as spirit, as choosing life, as choosing you, as knowing who you are and walking in the essence of who you are, in your power, in your strength, in your authority. I like that word, as walking in your authority. When you walk in your authority, very few things bother you. But every once in a while, something will come along and put a little chink in your armor. And which brings me to why I requested to be a guest on Wia's show. A couple weeks ago, a week or so ago, I was scrolling through Facebook and I seen a video. And in the video, the person that was making the video, they were addressing rape. Their friend had been raped, and the friend had told somebody he didn't bury it. He told it, and his friend was addressing the fact that he had been raped a whole lot of years ago, but he didn't have the power or the strength to get out from up under it. And one of the things that he said in the video, I didn't watch it very long because as a rape victim, and just as a person, a spiritual being who's very, very conscious of what I give my energy to, what I allow to take seed in my life and in my thoughts, I didn't watch it very long. I watched a few minutes, probably a minute and 30 seconds, and I turned it off. But it triggered a thought in me. And the thought was authority. I didn't even know that till just now. Thank you, Spirit. The thought was authority. Taking authority over who you are. Taking authority over where you are. Taking authority over who you give access to you. Not just because of rape. Not just because of rape. But because of spiritual abnormalities in all of us. Spiritual abnormalities in all of us. There's some people walking the earth who are there. Some are a little more broken than others. Some of our family members are a little more broken than others. And because of that, it causes them to act in ways that's unbecoming of spiritual beings. And those ways cause them to think that they have the right to take advantage of other people in multiple ways. They might think that they can be in your life and in a relationship. You with a guy or you with a woman and they mistreat you. They treat you bad. They verbally abuse you. They physically abuse you. And you being who you are, if you've suffered any abuse in childhood, you being who you are, have this belief that you have to stick and stay. You got to keep letting them come around. You got to love them through their pain. No, the fuck you don't. No, you don't. You ain't Jesus. There was only one sacrificial lamb, and he done came, did his job, and moved on. You are not the sacrificial lamb for other people's pain. But most importantly, you are not the sacrificial lamb for your own pain, your own trauma, your own brokenness. And why I say it like that is because in my brokenness, in my childhood, being molested, being raped as a young adult, not being protected by my mother, not being protected by my father because they was off in they bullshit. They were dealing with their own pain. They were dealing with their own childhoods. So they didn't properly protect us. They didn't properly look after us the way that they could have or should have. So because of that, in my adulthood, I gave people and experiences more access to me than it deserved. I gave people and experiences more access to me than I was required to. But because nobody ever told me I was worthy, nobody ever taught me that I had the right to protect myself, nobody ever taught me that I had the responsibility and the authority to be very circumspect about who I gave access to me. And why I say that, let me explain this to y'all why I say that. I'm not even going to talk about the molestation because I was a child and that was my parents' responsibility. I was a little girl. I was 4 or 5 when it started, and it went on for quite some time, and I'll come back to that. But the rape, I want to address the rape. I was raped twice in my life. I was raped at 16 years old, and I was raped at 19 years old. The first guy that raped me, when I met him, upon being introduced to him, everything in me cried to get away from him and never to be around him alone. Never to be around him alone. And the only way how it happened is I was liking his brother. So his brother is the one that introduced me to him. This my brother. This my friend. I like her. She like me. Blah, blah, blah. You know, all that stuff we was doing at 16. And one day I went looking for his brother, and they would always be out in the garage. So I went looking for his brother, and he told me he was back in the garage. And when I went into the garage looking for his brother wasn't there, but he trapped me in the garage. and he raped me. I take no responsibility for his act, but I take all responsibility for my part in it. Only that I knew. I didn't know what I knew. I didn't know how I knew because there was nobody around at that time explaining intuition. The church wasn't explaining intuition. They wasn't teaching you to follow your spirit mind. That ain't what they was teaching us then. So I didn't know what I knew and I didn't know how I knew, but I knew. I knew not to be caught alone with this guy. That was the first time. I never told anybody about that. I never told anybody about that because I didn't know how to tell, for one. I didn't know how to tell because, again, when I was molested as a young woman, my parents didn't protect me. So I didn't trust them to go tell them. Y'all didn't protect me when I was a little girl, so you ain't going to do nothing for me now. So I ate it, and I went on with my life. But I never got caught alone with him again. When I got raped at 19 years old, this was a family friend. He was a friend of a family member. And we all used to hang around together. And we all used to drink wine. We would get a case of wine, like not the case, but the wine in the box back in the day. I don't even remember what that stuff was called. But it came in the box, and we would get a box, and we would all just hang out and drink on the wine and laugh and talk. But in my spirit, I knew he wasn't to be trusted. But again, nobody ever told me I had authority and that I had power over me. Nobody ever told me that it was okay to say no and mean it. They said say no, but saying no ain't really never got me nowhere. So one particular day when I went to the spot where we all used to hang out, he was the only one there. And he was like, let's go get some wine. And by the time we get back, maybe everybody will be here. Everything in me, don't do it. Don't go. Do not get in the car with him. But how do I say no? He's a family friend, and I don't want to offend him. I don't want him to think I don't like him. When I don't like you. I didn't like him. But I didn't want to offend him. So making myself the scapegoat, I got my ass in the car. We went to get the wine. We coming back. He pulled in behind the community center. I think they gonna come down here today. And I can't even, like this time I just did a whole outer body leap. I just left the whole space. I just did a whole outer body mind thing. Like I'm not even here. Because by the time, within the wrestling and the no and the crying and I see my tears ain't gonna stop you, I just had to leave my body. Now, when I posted this video the other day, when I made the video, I also put a disclaimer on the video. This is an empowerment. I am telling you this to empower you. I am not a pity party person. I'm not coming to your pity party. And if I do, I'm not bringing the gift you expect. I will not uphold you in bullshit because I don't need nobody to uphold me in mine. When I get in my feelings, I get by myself. I don't call nobody for days. I don't talk to nobody for days. I work through my shit. So I'm saying to you that I'm not telling you this for pity. I'm telling you that coming up that hard, rough side of the mountain, as the old folks used to say, if somebody had told me, if one person had told me, LaKenta, you have every right to protect who you give access to you, that would not have happened. If one person had just loved themselves enough to know that I needed to know that, all I needed to know was that I have the authority and the power to say, hell no. I don't like you. I don't give a fuck about your feelings being hurt. I don't want to be around you. I don't care whose friend you are. You're not my friend. Whatever the conversation would have been. If one person had empowered me enough to say that, we would not be having this conversation.
Mm.
But I want to empower one person. I think this line say 25 persons on here, not just about rape, not just about being in relationships with people you don't fucking like, because that's what it led to for me. I've been married twice and I ain't like either one of them. I loved them, but I didn't like them. Like real shit, Wiz. When I tell you I didn't like them, like my son asked me, my son 27, 28 years old. We was sitting here the other night and we was just sitting here and he said, Mama, knowing how you are, I don't understand how you ended up with Tony. Tony was my previous husband.
Mm.
I said, what do you mean? And I just kind of giggled because I knew what he meant. I thought I knew what he meant, but I wanted him to expound on it for clarity. And I said, what you mean by that? He said, you gentle, you kind, you calm-natured kind of person. But he was mean and rigid. And I just don't understand how y'all ended up together. And I kind of giggled because I knew that's where he was going with that. And I told him, I said, son, when nobody ever empowered you to know that you're worthy and that you can tell people no. When nobody ever told you that you can sincerely really tell people no and have it be that you don't know how to tell people no. You let people push in on you. You let people stay longer than they supposed to stay. You let people come in that wasn't never supposed to be given access to come in. You do a lot of stuff when you do a lot of the meaning of yourself when you don't know who you are, when you don't know that you have power and authority over yourself, when you're just trying to get by in life, when you're just trying to find a safe place to be. You do a lot of sacrificing. But I'm here to tell you that you don't got to sacrifice no more. You don't got to sacrifice like that. You do not have to sacrifice like that. You do not owe anybody your life like that. You have every right. You have the authority. You have the power. You have the self-love, the self-integrity, and the self-worth. That you do not have to lay you down, dumb you down, quiet you down to make other people comfortable with you, to make other people satisfied with you, to allow other people to be fucked up at your expense. You don't owe nobody your life like that. And if y'all don't hear me say anything else, I want y'all to hear me say this. Do not give another person in your life access to you who do not deserve access to you. Not one more person. Not a mother, not your mother. And today, me and my mom pretty cool. We pretty cool. I love her. I never stopped loving her, but I told her to her face, I do not like you. I don't like the woman you are. I don't like the mother you were. And if you weren't either one of those, you are not somebody I would ever choose for a friend.
Mm.
When I was younger, 20 years ago, when we was having that heart to heart, when she was acting like she didn't know what the fuck happened. Mm-hmm. And I just had to go ahead and get ugly with her, like, cut the bullshit, because, yeah, right. But I got ugly with her for two reasons. I got ugly with her for her, and I got ugly with her for me. I needed to free myself from the pain and the hurt. And when I freed myself, when I told her what I had to tell her, when I expressed how hurt and how broken I was because of her lack of protecting me, it also opened up a whole nother arena for me of understanding. And what God's Spirit helped me understand was she couldn't give me what she didn't have. She couldn't give me what she didn't have. She didn't know how to protect herself. She didn't know how to love herself. Nobody had ever taught her how to love herself. Nobody had ever told her she was worth it. Nobody had ever told her that she was worthy. Nobody ever told her she could say no. So how does she teach me to say no? How does nobody ever told her to put herself first. She was putting herself first at my expense and at the expense of my sister. She was a young mother. And even though she was a mother, she was still trying to live her youth with 2 little girls at home. She was still trying to have some sense of fun and a life with 2 little girls at home. And that helped me tremendously. When Spirit showed me that, Spirit said, look at your life, look at your children. If you didn't have sense enough to protect them, where would they be? They'd be out here just like you were. You'd be the mother to them that your mother was. Now put yourself in her place. Just be better. Don't hate her. Just be better. And I ate that up. I ate it up. And I ate it up, and I was so full of it that I became overprotective of my children. My eldest child is 31. I got 129, and I got 128. And I get in they shit right now about their friends and the company they keep and who they give access to them and who they hanging out with. These people ain't your friends. These people don't care about you. Leave that bitch alone. Leave, you know what I'm saying? And I don't even say bitch. That ain't even a word I use to describe people. But if you act in that way, that's just what it is. That's just what it is. Leave that alone. Leave them alone. Protect yourself. Stop being so giving of your energy. Protect your time. Protect your space. Protect your mind. Protect you. Self-love. An aspect of self-love is knowing that you have the right to say no. I don't want to. Don't mean I don't love you. Don't mean that I'm not concerned about what you're dealing with. It just means that it's not convenient for me to give of myself in this situation for you. You're going to have to find another avenue. And I hope it works out for you. So when you understand that you are powerful, again, you don't have to be aggressive. You don't have to be overly assertive. You can give a gentle no, a comfortable no. Unapologetically, yes. Take up for your space in anybody in the world. From anybody, for any reason, everywhere you go. But generally, we do it in such a passive aggressive way. I want you to get comfortable with it. I want you to embrace it. I want you to hold on to access to you like you just found gold and you don't want to share it with nobody or you ain't ready to tell nobody. Hold on to access to you like it's the best gift you ever received in your life, because it is. You're valuable. You are worthy. I had a friend that commented on the post I made when I talked about this. And she said, I went through a similar experience that you, and it's taught me, it taught me, what did she say? It taught me to be a people pleaser at my own expense. It didn't give me a voice of not being heard. It taught me to be quiet and to take abuse from other people for their pleasure. And I said to that, you would think as adults that we would know that they no longer have to operate like that. But see, adults don't know that because we're still operating in our childhood. We think all of our troubles come in our relationship come from the relationship. So when you're in a relationship and shit go bad, and then you get in another relationship and you tell the new person all the shit that went wrong in the previous relationship. He did this to me and he did that to me. See, you still playing the victim, but you're not victim to the relationship. You're victim to the stuff that happened in your childhood. That's what I was. I was a victim. I volunteered myself in relationships and in situations because I was still under the conditioning of my childhood. Nobody taught me how to sort that stuff out. Nobody taught me how to examine the situations, and children don't know how to observe. Children are not very good observers. See, now I know how to observe. I know how to sit back and observe a situation and not take ownership of the situation. I can see a lot of stuff, but it don't have nothing to do with me. I don't have to participate in it. I don't have to take ownership of it. I don't have to insert myself in the experience. I can just see the experience, just like going to watch a movie. I can watch a movie and then get up and go away from the movie, and it don't mean nothing to me. That's how we have to become in life. We have to become, but see, children don't do that. Children take ownership. That's why when you hear about people, children coming from happy families, and they always want to talk, like, when my parents got divorced, it ruined my life. Or some children think that when their parents got divorced, it was because they were bad children. No, that ain't had nothing to do with you. No, that's adults need to work out they shit. But because children take ownership of stuff and they don't know how to just be observers of stuff, they take all they parents' shit, all the shit that happened to them, all the shit that they saw happen to their sisters and their cousins and whoever was around them, whoever was dominant in their life, and they take ownership of that. And you would think that we have the ability to separate fact from fiction when we become adults, but that's who we are. That's why they start you in school so early. That's why they start you in school as a little child, because they know that the mind is impressionable when it's more impressionable when it's young. It's easily conditioned. It's easily led astray and run amok. We can tell you. And that's why if you look at the school system, you don't really learn anything new from grade to grade.
Nah.
You don't really, what happens is they reinforce what you learned in the previous grade. That's conditioning. And that's what has happened to us over the years. We've been conditioned. We condition ourselves. We open up our mind to more conditioning. And at some point, we got to learn how to pull back and say, no more. No more. What I'm going to do is sit over here by myself and be quiet. And I'm going to work on the shit I already got. I'm going to sort through it like laundry. I don't need that no more. That can go in the dirty clothes pile. I can still use that. I'm going to go ahead and wash that. But we need to end up with more boxes for the trash or the Goodwill than we end up keeping. Because the majority of the things that we think we know comes from conditioning. It comes from the mind of people who got it from the mind of somebody else, who got it from the mind of somebody else who didn't know what the hell they was doing or talking about. We pass down traditions and we don't even know what we're talking about. We pass down superstitions and we don't even know what we're talking about. There's some people still doing shit the way grandma did it, and grandma did it because that's the way she had to do it. But with technology and more modern appliances and better grade this and better grade that, you don't got to do it that way no more. You can get that back. Thank you, but no thank you. I don't need that anymore. But in order to do that, you have to take authority over you. In order to do that, you have to do some examining. Figure out what you need. Figure out what you don't need. Is this my thought? Is that my thought? If it's not, what do I do with it? Should I keep this? Do I agree with it? Do I not agree with it? One by one, you have to look at your life and figure out what you need at this point and what you don't need anymore. And you have to trust your intuition. Tuning in, tapping in, turning on is a real deal. You know, it's like you're the toaster. This is how Abraham Hicks explains it. You're the toaster, and the universe or God is the electric socket. Now, you can put the bread in the toaster and push the button, but if you ain't plugged the cord in, You ain't getting no heat, so you ain't getting no toast. That's what tuning in, tapping in, turning on really means.
Mm-hmm.
When you plug into the power source through meditation, through mindfulness, through sitting with yourself and being quiet, through letting people go to hell on that need to go to hell on. Stop trying to hold on to shit and people that don't need to be held on no more. Limiting access to you, being mindful of your thoughts, being mindful of where you open yourself up to, being mindful of what you read, being mindful of what you listen to, and knowing that your mind is a fertile garden. Your mind is a garden with the best freaking soil there ever was. And unbeknownst to you, things are planted in your mind all the time. And you don't even know what's planted until you have to respond to something sometimes. Or you agree with mesothelioma until you needed the medicine for mesothelioma, or you needed to line up with the class action lawsuit. And I'm saying that to say that this is how easy things are planted within us. This is how easy conditioning happens. If we're not in tune with who we are, if we haven't taken authority over who we are, if we haven't agreed to be responsible for who we are, if we haven't decided that we are truly gods in our life and not just playing God in our life. Because, see, it's a lot of fadism going on. It's a lot of people playing, acting spiritual. But really what they are is being religious, and they don't think they are, and they think people don't see them. It just ain't for everybody to call out, but we see you. This thing is real. You are a spirit. You don't have to get spiritual. You are spiritual. What you have to do is work it like a muscle and strengthen it up. You have to get it strong. Because, see, God is not going to force spirit, your higher self, they're not going to force themselves on you. When you've taken the reins for so long, they just sit back and say, okay, let's watch what this fool do. Did you see that? Did you see what she did? Okay, well, let's keep watching because she's going to do something else crazy here soon. You know she's going to blame it on us, right? You know we going to get the blame. Yeah, we good. We already know that. Okay, let's watch.
It's like the Truman Show. Remember the Truman
Show? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But see, everybody act like we got to jump through some great hurdles and hoops to be spiritual. We don't. We don't. You do not have to jump through no great hurdles and hoops to be spiritual. You just have to agree with yourself that you're ready to be in control of you. You just have to agree with yourself that you're ready to tune in, tap in, turn on that higher power, and figure out what's the best course of action for you through this life. What's the easy route? Easy is okay. Easy is okay. Even lazy is okay. Because think about, what y'all think they was doing in the Garden of Eden? They wasn't working hard in the Garden of Eden. It's a garden. It was a garden of life. They was laying under the tree, kicked back like, hey, what y'all doing over there? Y'all grilling today? Okay, I'll be over in a little bit. All day, every day.
Chilling.
Enjoying life. The best of everything already laid out. What do you think the story of the prodigal son is about? That's what the story of the prodigal son is about. Us. We had riches. We wanted to take ours out into the world. Then we got out there and squandered our whole lives. And now we in the pig pen, eating the pig slop. And then we came to our senses. Why am I living out here like this when my parents own everything? Life is not hard. Life is so fucking easy that we can't accept that it's not hard. Because we've been conditioned to believe that everything in life if it come too easy, it can't. If it's easy, it's too good to be true. No, if it's easy, line me up. I'm getting in that line, y'all. Stay over here if y'all want to, but I'm getting in that line. So Tuning in, tapping in, turning it on is simple. It's simple, it's easy, it's gentle, it's fun, it's happy. It's all the things that we have never been told it's okay to be. It's all the things that we have never been conditioned, that we have been conditioned out of. It's all those things. Now, setting spiritual boundaries. It really differs. It differs in the sense, again, it refers back to your access, giving people access to you. It refers back to you stop thinking that everybody got to think like you. It refers back to you thinking that you need acceptance, validation, and approval from everybody before you can be you. No, just be you. Just be you. But in a lot of ways, we really have to find out who you are. You have to find out who you are. Because for so long, we've been taught to be this way for these people. You know, like, how familiar are y'all with the comment, don't go up in there acting no fool. You go in there and be smart and show them you got to be smarter than the people. I'm already smarter than the people around me. Now, so what you're saying is that you think I'm not as smart as these people. See, we think what we say send one message when sometimes what we say send the wrong message.
Mm-hmm.
We have to be very careful about how we talk to children, how we talk around children, how we talk about children, because they wise. They're wise. They're wiser than we give them credit for. They already come here knowing half the stuff that we trying to figure out. So it ain't them that we just getting back to it and they already there and we trying to beat them out of it while we trying to find ourselves. Mm-hmm. So see, we got lost in the sauce, and now that we're coming back to ourselves, love, self-love, and setting boundaries look so different for every person. What needs to be a boundary for me may not need to be a boundary for you. But you do need to set boundaries. And the only way you set boundaries by knowing what it is that you want and what it takes for you to be happy with you, about you, for you. Setting spiritual boundaries is setting boundaries, spiritual or unspiritual. Setting boundaries is based on who you are and you finding out who you are. Because most of us, we really don't know. We really don't know. We follow fads, we follow music, we follow rappers, we follow models, I want to be like her, I wish I looked like her, we try to dress like her. Who are you? Just do you. Just be you. Just find you. Just like you. Spirituality is very simple. We make it complicated. And then we complicate it thinking that we make it even more complicated thinking that it's complicated and we got to do all this great stuff to get to it. No, it's like being in a body of water. You know, you really ain't got to do a lot for the body of water to carry you with it if you catch a tide. You just got to flow with it. Just go with it. And that's how simple spirituality is. That's how simple it is. That's how easy it is. That's how comfortable it is. That's how loving you are. That you don't give yourself no hard time to live easy in life. For real. You really don't in your right mind. But you got to go back and take authority over you. You don't need no president. Mm-mm. You don't need no leader. I be seeing or hearing stuff. We ain't got no more black great leaders. I'm a black great leader. I do damn good at leading me.
Facts.
I do damn good at leading me. I don't know where you trying to be led to that you ain't capable of leading yourself, but I'm doing okay out here. Matter of fact, I'm doing better than okay. So if we would understand that we're all leaders in our own right. We're all leaders. And we have access, we have direct access to the ultimate leader who will tell us how to navigate this thing so easy and so comfortably and so fortuitously, so fruitfully, so affluently that we ain't even mad at the next person for what they got. Cause shit, you see my new, you see this? You see this new Telluride I got sitting out here? Nice as hell, ain't it? Yeah, I see you over there. I see you. We ain't mad at people for doing good no more because we're all doing good. We're not jealous of the haves because we're no longer the have-nots. Because we've made up our mind to have too. The ocean is abundant. You can't drain the ocean. I don't care how many buckets you take out there. You can't drain the ocean. So there's more than enough. But you have to take authority over it. You have to take responsibility for it. You have to decide that you want it. You have to flow into it. You have to flow into it. It doesn't require a lot of effort. It's very easy. The good life is very easy. You just have to make up your mind to get to it. I think I made a whole list of stuff that I wanted to touch on, but I think I've said enough.
You've definitely covered what you
enough.
mentioned to me. You definitely covered what you mentioned to me that you wanted to talk about for sure.
Okay. And as long as I covered that, that was a burning desire, as we used to call it in church. Anybody here got any burning desires that they need to get up and testify about? I needed to testify about that to y'all. And if you are friends on my page, you on my Facebook page, you know I've been doing one aspect of self-love at least once a day, but a couple times a day. But this one was a burning desire because in it, taking control of who you give access to you takes control of who you give access to your children, takes control to you who you give access over your power, takes control over who you give access to your life. And once you take that back, when you sit by yourself for a little bit and start asking your higher self, having conversations with yourself, what does this look like? What does taking control of my life look like? What does that look like? And that's what does that look like? How does that look? And Spirit will start to reveal to you what that looks like. Spirit will start to lead you, and you have to follow the impulses. You can't resist. You can't be scared. You can't be scared. You can't because fear, if you feel fearful, you got that from somewhere else. That's not of God. Fear is not of God. Fear is a spirit. It's a conditioning. And that didn't come from God. That came from people. God said he gave us the spirit of power and of love and of a sound mind, which is the ability to control self and think for self. Sound, logical, analytical, critical thinking is what it means to have a sound mind. And when we do that, we have the ability to change our whole life.
Can you say that one more time? Can you say that one more time?
God said he gave us the power, the spirit of power and of love and of a sound mind. And a sound mind is the ability to analytically, critically, logically analyze a situation, a thought, a question.
I see.
And when you do that, when you critically, not critical of, but critically analyze, you're even to the point that you being critical about it is basically saying, how does this serve me? And picking it apart. How does this serve me? If it don't serve you, it don't have nothing to do with you. And not serve you in a way that it's going to take from somebody else to give to you. if this isn't edifying me, let me change the word. If this isn't edifying me spiritually, I don't need no part of this. I don't want any parts of this. Because where I'm trying to go, that is not beneficial to me. That's not useful to me right now. So if you feel fear, remind yourself that's not of the God in you.
Fact.
And you are God. You are a God. When you feel fear, remind yourself that that's not of the God in you. That's not of your higher spirit. That's of something else that has nothing to do with you. Give that back.
Mm.
And we're going to feel fear because that's the way we've been conditioned to try to make it on this obstacle course called life. We're going to experience times of fear. We're going to. It's inevitable because that's been our conditioning for so long. But the more you practice your power, the stronger your power gets and the less experiences you have with fear. The more you practice, it's an exercise. Everything you do has to be a repetition. That's what they call rituals. You have to make a ritual of it. But it has to be a ritual that's beneficial to you. It's a ritual that's beneficial to you. Again, I'm going to say it again, it's a ritual that's beneficial to you. You have to create rituals that's beneficial to you. Habitual practices. You have to practice it till you become a master of it. You have to work that muscle. You have to work out. Otherwise, you just get fat and flabby, or you can be skinny and flabby, but you don't have no muscle tone. It's the same thing with your spirit. You have to work it. It's yours. You have to take authority of it and work it.
Right.
Exactly. Return it to sender. This nonsense ain't mine. And that's exactly you gotta have real conversations with it. Like, get the fuck out of here with that. Go on somewhere with that. Go on somewhere with that. I ain't even trying to hear that today. You know, just like you would get somebody told on the street, get that nonsense told in your life. Like, go on somewhere with that. Get out of here with that bullshit. Miss me with that. You need to cut it. However you talk to it like that. Because Jesus cussed. I mean, I don't know what y'all know about Jesus, but that Jesus they gave us in church, that ain't the Jesus that was walking this path. That ain't Jesus that was trying to show us how to do this shit for real.
Nah.
That ain't the Jesus. That ain't the Jesus that came that we might have life and have it more abundantly. See, we missed all that. I know the plans that I have for you to prosper you and not fail you, to give you a reason and a hope. We missed all that. Let this mind be in you that was also in Christ Jesus, that knew he was a power and authoritative force in the world. And again, now I'm not talking about that white, long, blonde hair, blue-eyed Jesus that they taught us about in church. I'm talking about the spiritual energy that is power. I'm talking about the spiritual energy that is power, that came here, or the consciousness of it was sent as a blueprint to show us how to walk this out. And all those these, thous, and don'ts don't have nothing to do with how fruitful this life is supposed to be for us.
Mm.
I feel myself going somewhere else. I feel myself going off on another tangent. Do y'all have anything y'all want me to discuss before Leon cut us off? Before however we end the show, is there anything that y'all would like to banter about?
If y'all have something, make sure you put it in the Q&A section for me, where the question mark is. That way we can act accordingly on following up with your questions. But I got one for you while we're waiting. Spirituality.
Yes, sir.
How did you get that? I know probably from experiences and things like that, but how did you get that understanding and that overstanding that you have now? How were you able to cultivate that and live the way you live now?
Oh my gosh, I've come full circle for real. I wasn't raised in church per se, like my mom and daddy didn't go to church, but I was always drawn to church.
Mm-hmm.
I was always like, I always wanted to be in church, eating up the energy. I love the energy of church. And I raised my children in church. I was like a diehard. I was ridiculous about it. And if you get them talking about it, if you ever around them, you get them talking about it, they'll have you cracking up. But I was dogmatic about it. And when I started teaching Sunday school, there was a young man in my Sunday school class. He was way older than the other children I had in Sunday school. And he asked me a tough ass question one Sunday. And I used to study, like I would read that word. I had my Sunday school study book and everything, and I read it. And like that was what me and my children did on Saturday night. I made them do the quizzes with me and everything so I would be prepared to teach Sunday school. And he asked me a very tough question that I didn't have an answer to. And I told him I would talk to the pastor about it and I would get back with him about it. But that question, and honestly, I can't even tell you what the question is. I just remember him asking me that question and stumping me. But that question plagued me because what that young man pointed out to me was that what we were teaching them made no sense. Made no sense. And because that question plagued me, I kept asking Spirit to show me. And then I started journaling. Show me me. Show me me. My purpose in all of this. Why is what he asked me bothering me so much? And that started a roller coaster ride. Man, when I tell you it started a roller coaster ride, I started getting documentaries on the Council of Nicaea. I started getting I was coming across all kind of information was coming at me. It was being presented to me. And I started in with the Hebrew Israelites first. From Christianity, I went through the Hebrew Israelites. Then I went through Egyptology, what they call Egyptology, which is really not a word. Went through Egyptology. Then I went through Buddhism. And when I started tapping into Buddhism and chanting, I would chant Nam-myoho Renge-kyo, Nam-myoho Renge-kyo, Nam-myoho. I would do that in the morning before I would go to work. And then at work, I would study all day. Then one day, Spirit said, put that shit down. Put all that down. Stop reading them books and talk to me. I stopped reading books. I stopped buying books. I stopped listening to videos. I stopped doing all that. Because one thing led to another. I was militant as hell for a little while there. Got arrested behind it, listening to that damn the bald head dude with the Nation of Islam, black dude that's dead. He dead. What's his? It'll come to me in a minute. But militant, went the whole gauntlet. But when I got to the Buddhism and I started chanting, Spirit told me to put all that down, stop reading other books because they all just regurgitated thoughts. You have the ability to think for yourself. You have the ability to rightly divide the word of truth for yourself. And Spirit, I remember when I was in the Egyptology, and the people I was studying with then, they all start talking about burning their Bibles, throwing their Bibles away. And I couldn't throw my Bible away. I could not throw my Bible. Thank you. Yeah, Khalid Muhammad. That's who it was. And I couldn't throw my Bible away. I put it on the shelf, and I probably didn't touch it for like 2 or 3 years. But one day, while I was listening to myself, my higher self talk to me, started bringing back to my memory all the Bible verses I used to study while I was in church, and started breaking them down to me. Just breaking them down to me. This is what this means. This is what this means. This is what it was saying when it said this. Had nothing to do with a person. Had nothing to do with a people. Had to do with the metaphysical thought process, the mind nature of a being. I read something the other day. It said, I can't believe people out here still. I can't believe people are out here still believing that God wrote a book. No, God did not write a book. but God did divinely inspire a book to be written because he knew that we were going to forget who we are. And the only way we would believe and be able to return to who we are is if we could see it, because we had been disconnected from feeling.
Mm-hmm.
We had been disconnected from truly feeling. We're oversensitized. We oversexed. We over music. We got a whole lot of, we're desensitized to so much. But the living word, the word that lives within us, God knew we were going to need to see it in writing to help draw back our memory of who we were.
Mm-hmm.
Isaiah chapter 10, verse 26, and I might be getting it backwards because I haven't looked at it in a long time, but it says, I will cause the spirit of deep sleep to come upon you. You will go to your prophets and ask them to read the book, and they won't be able to read the book. They'll read what they think is reading, but they won't be able to rightly divide or interpret this word of truth, because the deep sleep has been brought up on us.
Mm-hmm.
And the deep sleep was brought up on us because we started following after other people's ways. We did that. We gave up our right. We freely handed over our right to access knowledge of who we are. And since we did that, every people has some way of reminding their future generations of who they were in writing or symbols. Egypt did it on the walls. Back in the day, it was the scrolls. So every people give their future generations some way of verifying what they know, what they feel in their heart. But that's how I got to where I am now through great. Some days I have to be very careful about beating up on myself about taking such a long way around, because I have truly come full circle. Because spirit, in my teens, spirit would talk to me just as clear as me and you sitting here talking.
Mm-hmm.
Just as clear as me and you sitting here talking, and tell me stuff, show me stuff. I remember one time when I was like 18 years old, I had got an apartment, and the guy that lived behind me, he worked on cars. That morning, I dreamed about his brother who was in prison. He had been in prison for a long, long time. I never even met him. He had been in prison. I didn't even know him. That morning, I dreamed about him. I dreamed he died.
Mm.
Went outside, got up that morning, cleaning up my apartment, took the trash out. My neighbor was outside. I said, how you doing today? He said, not too good. Got word my brother died this morning.
Wow.
I just looked at it. I didn't know what to say. I ran back in the house and slammed the damn door. But Spirit used to talk to me so clear, like, and then when I started, and I understand why I had to take the route I took, I understand, because I had to unlearn a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Had to unlearn a lot of religious beliefs and practices in order to clean up my vibration, the frequency I was on, to get back to my spirituality, to get back to my spiritual nature. I had to clean out a lot of stuff. So that's how I got here.
Nice. Very well put. Very well articulated. I already knew you were going to bring the funk and the fire like you always do. Like I said, third time here. So grateful for always you sharing your amazing energy with us, your wisdom with us, your knowledge, your understanding. Is there anything you would like to close with and share with the family before we jump off?
First of all, I want to thank you for having me and giving me access to your audience. I appreciate you greatly. I appreciate you and your goddess. I have loved you too tremendously from the first moment I encountered you all. And I thank the people for listening. I really, really appreciate you all. And more than anything, again, what I was going to tell y'all a little ways back was when I pinned that disclaimer that, this wasn't for trauma bonding, but for empowerment, my little cousin Soul Composed posted that part of it on his wall, and somebody said, like, so now we can't even share our experiences. It's trauma bonding now, and I felt her pissed offness in her question. So I tried to go on there and explain to her, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying we shouldn't grow through our experiences with one another. But what I am saying is be mindful about connecting and attaching yourself to people because y'all have similar traumas. Because what you do is you give yourself a crutch. You don't, that's propping yourself up when you attach yourself to people who have similar traumas, and neither one of y'all are really, really working on overcoming the traumas. All y'all doing is holding each other. You mad, you get mad at your dude, so she supports you whether you right or wrong. Or you want to be the higher spiritual. You're learning to grow. You're learning to strengthen yourself and be a better person in the way you treat people and following spirit on the way you make moves. But this person wants you to stay stuck in your pain because that's where y'all joined up at, in y'all's pain. That's trauma bonding. And we have to be very careful about that. Like if you put up a post and say, like I put up a post yesterday where I said something about me staining my steps, and I was just being silly. I have a very silly nature. Serious as I can be just as silly. I'm balanced. I'm pretty balanced in my being. And people, well, you'll make it, you'll be okay. And it's like I know, like I'm good, y'all. I'm good. Like, but see, we be looking for people to identify our pain with, that any indication that somebody else is in pain, we're going to be in pain with them. We're going to uphold each other. No, we need to be empowered. We have enough pain. We have enough trauma. We have enough people agreeing to uphold us there. Be careful about being emotional, holding yourself emotionally hostage in your bullshit. And I call it bullshit because that's really what it is. Doesn't mean that I'm minimizing how you feel or what your experiences are. I talk to myself the same way about my own shit. I talk to myself the same way. So don't be turned off by the bluntness of my words, because I don't mean it harshly. I mean it sincerely. Let me say this. I do have a healing circle. I do work with people. I don't work with just women. I work with men as well. I have had quite a few men counselors that mentees that I have helped tremendously, who I've counseled, who I've worked with, to overcome experiences in our life that we no longer need anymore. I don't put myself out there like that because I would rather let people find me. I don't seek people. I let people seek me. And when people do find me, they find that I'm very helpful to them. I'm not looking to be popular. I'm looking to be useful, but maintain peace in my life. I have a lot to give. And if you need what I have to offer, again, you can find me on Facebook, LaKenta Vershawn. You can find me over here on Instagram, LaKenta Vershawn. You can hit my number. You can find me down at the Stone Store, Blue Rock Medicine Show. I'm around. But at the same time, I'm very protective of who I give access to me, even more nowadays, because Spirit is doing a great work right now. Spirit is doing a great work right now. And if y'all don't feel it, it's because you're really, really not paying attention. I know y'all feel it because y'all here and y'all been with us the entire time of this conversation. So I know that the people who are here, but this is also a very pivotal time to be very, very astute in your mind, in your thinking, in your behavior, in your movements, because the purge is not looking like people thought it was going to look. People are very up in arms about all the death that surrounds COVID. And let me say this, and then I'm going to get the hell off of here and let y'all enjoy the rest of y'all evening. Nobody's dying who was not supposed to die. Nobody's dying who's not supposed to die. Are people dying? Yes, people are dying. But guess what? Those same people were going to die anyway. Those same people were going to die anyway. They're sensationalizing this stuff around COVID because they understand very clearly that people are starting to tap into their spirituality. And see, when you tap into your spirituality, when you strengthen your spirituality, you don't need a leader. You do not need a leader. You do not need a system to manipulate you and control you. And as people are waking up, they have to come out with the next great fear tactic to keep people submissive and under control. Everything is happening is divine. Absolutely. If you go read Habakkuk, Habakkuk told you that 2/3 of the people will perish. Why are they perishing? Because they do not want to elevate. They do not want to elevate. In order for the frequencies to rise, the vibration in the earth to rise, you have to clean up. It's inevitable. If you got a dirty ass house, the frequency is low in that house. But you get up and clean that house up, the vibration of that place is gonna rise. Like, and maybe it ain't even a dirty house, but just you need to wash the dishes. You know how you feel when you walk in the kitchen and the dishes need to be washed, or the floor need to be swept and mopped? It feel kind of like, ugh. But you go in there, turn your music on, light your incense, get in there, pop them dishes off, sweep that floor, mop that floor. You in the kitchen dancing now because your energy is light. It's the same thing in the earth. Nothing's happening that's not supposed to be happening. Do not get bent out of shape. Do not be up and I know it's hard. I know it's hard for us when people die. I know it's hard for us when people die. It's hard for us when people die because of the way we've been conditioned to look at death. But there really is no such thing as death. People just change forms.
Facts.
They just change forms. That's all they do. They haven't gone anywhere per se. Because if you were tuned in, tapped in, turned on, you could feel their energy around you just as clearly as if they were sitting on the couch with you. There is so much more that we could talk about. I'm feeling this in my heart right now. There's so much more that we could talk about, but we would go on for hours if we tuned into everything that Spirit is doing right now. God does nothing in secret. Source, Spirit, the Most High, whatever you call it, God does nothing in secret. God is an open, honest, real God. It's people who do things in secret. It's people who throw rocks and hide their hands. God don't do that. So anything you want to know, ask. Just ask. You can't. Listen, I know what they told you as a child. You don't question God. You better question the one with all the answers. Otherwise, you just going to get a bunch of bullshit.
Facts.
I love y'all sincerely. I love y'all. If there's anything I can do for you, if you just want to powwow, holler at me. Goddess L, God is L, because I am God. I know just who I am. LaKenta, I'm living this life as LaKenta Vershawn, and I'm enjoying it tremendously. 2020 has probably been the best year of my adult life. Probably been the best year of my life. Shit, I don't know. I have to think back too far to examine all that, but I can tell you for real, it's been the best year in a long time. I have experienced life as free of time restrictions, free of schedules, just free. I wake up when I feel like it. I go to bed when I feel like it. I eat when I don't have no lunch break. I'm just doing free right now. And free is real nice. Free is real nice because I agreed to free my mind, and my life is following. My life is following in a beautiful way, in a very beautiful way. And I remember a time I ain't have a loaf of bread, and I barely had $2 to get one. But that's way behind. That's way behind because life is really, really good right now. And I expect it to stay that way. I have no fears of what's going on in this world. I have no fear about what's going on because if I ain't living in this one, I'm living in the next one, and I'm okay with wherever I'm at because I'm okay with me. I'm okay with me. I love you. I wish you well, even as your soul prospers. It was mandated that your soul would prosper, your life would prosper, and you would be in good health even as your soul prosper. Your soul is so very prosperous. Your soul is so very prosperous. Your life is not in agreement with that because you don't know that, because you haven't believed that and accepted that. But I hope you do. I hope you do. I hope you really consider what we talked about, what we've talked about, and take the easy way. Stop efforting and just let it flow. Take the easy way.
Mm,
Ask the Most High to show you the easiest way to maneuver this life, and go with that plan. Go with that plan. And with that, I bid you well.
mm. Powerful, powerful, powerful. Thank you so much. There you guys have it. God is L. Also, LaKenta Vachon on Facebook and on IG. If you guys want to, I would encourage you guys to connect with her, support the goddess, follow the goddess. Like she said, feel free to reach out to her. If you want to powwow, feel free to reach out to her and connect with her. If you have some questions about her group that she has going on, I would strongly encourage it. I know we have conversations from time to time, and I always feel like I learn something, and I always feel like it's just a great conversation, and we converse a lot. So thank you so much, goddess. I appreciate you always. You always have a phenomenal show.
Always.
Third time here, and I'm sure we will have you back again. You always get great feedback. As you can see, we've been here almost 2 hours, and nobody's really left. So that right there,
Right.
value.
Yeah. And I appreciate that. I appreciate your attentiveness. I know that our attention spans as people is not, we ain't real long attention span. So 2 hours is stretching the mind, and too much information, it falls on stony ground sometimes. So again, that's why I implore you that if you want to go over anything I said, if you want to expound on anything that I said, again, please feel free to reach out to me, inbox me, get at me, and we'll go over it again, because this thing, habits are made by habitual, ritualistic repeat processes. And in order to gain a greater understanding, you have to repeat processes. You have to repeat this thing. You have to work it. You got to go to the gym to build up muscle. You got to go to spirit to build up spirit.
Facts. Somebody said, but when the nourishment is fire, you eat. I agree with that. Facts.
Indeed,
Facts.
indeed. And I know I'm full in my heart from everything that Spirit gave me to share with you all. Like I said, while I was sitting here waiting for the show to start, I asked Spirit what she would have me to share with you all. And I feel like I shared that and maybe a little bit more, but I know that I didn't overdo it, because there's so much that we need to know, and there's so much validation that we need. And I can validate you, and I can validate you, but it doesn't do anything until you validate yourself. I can give you all the accolades. I can sit here and talk to you for another 2 hours and tell you what thus saith the Lord, what Spirit will have us expound on, but it doesn't do anything until you start working it yourself. It doesn't do anything until you accept that you're the greatest power force in your life.
100. With that being said, goddess, I'm gonna go ahead and X you out and close out this live. Thank you so much again. We will be in touch.
Thank you.
I'll be in touch. Thank you.
For sure.
Peace. Peace and love. There you guys have it. God is L, also known as LaKenta Vachon on Facebook and also on IG. Make sure you guys go follow, go support the goddess. As you can see, she's extremely knowledgeable. She's tapped all the way in. So if you need, I would definitely strongly encourage you to connect with her, especially if you're looking for some guidance with your spiritual journey, or if you're looking for that prayer group like she mentioned. Thank you so much, guys. It's not much for me to really close out with, because she did such an amazing and phenomenal job. So with that being said, it's your boy Leon Wiz White. This is Planet Wiz. This was season 3, episode 12. What I would encourage you guys to do is make sure you tap in Sunday, because I have another, this time we have a king coming to the show this Sunday. He is, I think he wrote 3 or 4 books. So he's an author over and over and over. He's going to share his experience as far as writing books. Also talk and update and educate the family about it if individuals are looking to write books, publishing, self-publishing, all that good stuff. So once again, we're going to keep that balance going on here in Planet Wiz. I love each and every one of you guys. We're going to sign out right now. Peace, love, light, positive vibrations. Make it a great night. Peace.